Hello everyone and welcome to the World of Clink. You're watching World of Warcraft. It's not quite the World of Clink, but it's sort of, well, I'll be my character in it. I'm your host, Colonel Clink. Hope everyone is doing well. So, with the relaunch of World of Warcraft Classic, I've decided to jump in for a bit, just to give it a bit of a spin. We'll go through some of the early part of the game, and so just remember, so here's my character. I've been able to get the same character name as my main. If you don't know what a main is, it's generally your primary character. So if you've never heard of World of Warcraft, it is a massively multiplayer RPG. It is arguably the biggest for a very long period of time. Arguable whether it still is, but it's maintained itself pretty well. Certainly where other ones have died, and it managed to, well, so many games came out calling themselves WoW killers that it sort of just flattened them. So anyway, after 15 years, they've re-released the classic World of Warcraft. So this is way back in time with pretty much the classic graphics and everything. I mean, look at those chunky hands, and all of the old quests and everything. The original game was, some would say, quite hardcore in comparison to what it's been since then. I haven't jumped in at all yet. Oh look, it's got all the original pictures and everything. It's a little bit, as you can see, the resolution is not quite as crisp as a newer game. So we're going to have a jump in. This hasn't really changed. Actually, no, I think they did change it. This narrator sadly passed away a few years back.
Nestled in the foothills of Elwyn Forest, Stormwind City is one of the last bastions of human power.
There's some players running around.
By the Child King Anwin Rin, the people of Stormwind remain steadfast in their commitment.
Yeah, I think they have updated it slightly.
Backed by their stalwart allies, the armies of Stormwind have been called away to fight the savage horde on distant battlefields. With the armies gone, the defense of Stormwind now falls to its proud citizens. You must defend the kingdom against the foul mongrels that encroach upon it, and hunt down the subversive traitors who seek to destroy it from within. Now is the time for heroes. Now humanity's greatest chapter can be told.
Wow, that is a bunch of players. I haven't seen a area this crowded for ages. Oh look, a help button will appear. Thanks. Don't display tips, please, God. I think I know how to play WoW. So, now it's got set to some weird settings. What do I want? No, I don't need graphics. Interface options. Combat. Yep, that's all fine. Search chat style, classic style chat. Won't need these for a while, but now camera can go to that. Yep, that should be fine. Accessibility, raid profiles, don't need to worry about any of that. Let's just have a look. That's better. Alrighty, so here we are. We're a mage. We have frost armor and fireball. We have some cheese and water to drink. So, if you've never played WoW before, pretty much your most of the real... Why am I stuttering tonight? Most of the newer MMOs owe a lot to WoW. They use a lot of similar systems. Note the guy with the big glowing thing over his head. Now, admittedly, WoW did borrow a lot of stuff from EverQuest, which was the other big MMO that came out prior to it. The main thing with WoW was able to hit the mainstream really well. Pretty much every man and his dog at least knew what they were talking about, even if they weren't playing it. Threat within. I hope you strapped your belt on tight, young mage. And this is basically it. There's no one talks. You can click on them and they talk.
Hey there. What can I do for you?
So basically, we need to speak with Marshal McBride, because they're having trouble keeping the peace at this little cathedral, despite the 19, 20, 30 adventurers that are standing here. Hell, we could make a raid group with and they're 40-man raids back then. We could make a 40-man raid group. Go attack Ogrimmar with a bunch of level 1s. Alright, yes. So, I need to go kill some kobolds. So I'm going to ditch that because I don't need it. Oh, 25 copper. These were the days. So, money is so scarce in Classic WoW. Like, until you hit 60 and are running raids or dungeons all the time, you have no money. You literally have no money. Mounts cost a friggin' fortune. So, yeah, it's a bit nuts. Alright, now I don't have a tab key anymore. Alright, so quests, I believe I can... yeah, track it. Shift click. Got to remember how to play WoW a little bit. So we're going to go kill some kobolds. Now, that won't show on the map. No, it does not show on the map anymore. So, new versions of WoW, it'll tell you where to go for the quest. This, it doesn't tell me at all. And also, there is another quest here, which will probably be kill some wolves.
Good day to you. You need something?
Yep, come on. I don't care. I don't care. Stop talking to me.
Have a good one.
So, yeah, okay. It will show me people to talk to. I honestly can barely even remember how the quest system worked in Classic WoW.
Hey there.
How do I get through this?
Safe travel.
So, WoW has a lot of different things. So, it's also got like a reputation system where you'll go up with the various factions, which will gain access to items later down the track. Classic WoW, it was mainly mounts. Now, I am playing a mage, so there's also skills, and you will get skills as you go up. Now, languages were basically a feature that was never fully implemented. It was intended that you could learn other people's languages. Fire, Frost is my class skills, so that doesn't really do much. And these are my weapon skills, so this will determine how well I am at hitting things. As a mage, those will never really go up. As a warrior, you have to sort of train those up quite a bit. Killing something, I select it, and then target it with an ability. And if I wanted to, I could hit it with my stick. Oh look, my defense has increased by 2 and my staff skills have increased by 2. Go me. And I will get some stuff. So the two hardest things which I can see occurring here, one is running out of enemies, but I'm hoping they've at least got some of the better enemy spawns. And the second thing is going to be bag space, because back in Classic WoW, you've only got your backpack, which, yes, can hold 20, but bags will be a problem. So this was basically what I started with when I first started playing WoW. I only started playing towards the tail end of 2004 when it came out. 2004? Yeah. 15 years. So a lot of people were already quite high level. Classic WoW, I don't know what level situation is. I'm guessing some people probably would have. I mean, I think there was. I have a really large suspicion that it was. What was I saying? I have a really large suspicion that you could actually get to level 60 in a day. Some speedrunner did it. But I'm not sure how fun it would have been. And I think it was very much a grindy type situation. Woo! Leveled. Ding, as they say. Oh, so I got a belt. So, I have a belt, which I will attach to myself, and that will increase my armor. Yay. Because armor is so important for a mage. Kind of is, so you just don't die. And we get the glory of early game chat. I almost feel like rolling a horde character, running around the barrens and yelling, "Where is Mancrick's wife?" just to piss everyone off. Because you see, quests back at this point in time, you have to read them. Like, you actually do have to read them. Now, I wasn't reading them because I kind of know where I have to go. So, this, for example, a clan of kobolds have infested the woods to the north. So, it's up here somewhere. Like, you know it's north of Northshire Abbey. But where exactly? You know, a frigging clue. New game, it'll show like an area where you can go and kill the kobolds. So it's sort of, it actually makes you have to read things and think, and it's a much slower game because of that. And I think that's why a lot of people often talk about Classic WoW as sort of glowing terms, because you did have to work for stuff. It wasn't just handed to you. Not that I don't think that there's a time and place for stuff being handed to you. Yeah, so you can see some of these guys, they're actually grabbing multiple kobolds. And targeting multiple goals at the same time, and by doing that, they're tagging them so that they, other people can't take them. It means they can kill people a lot quicker. Because at the moment, it's looking like I am running out of kobolds. Bridge mine. I was very much an explorer type player. I loved exploring. It was one of the good fun. Because as well, there was no flying mounts back here. It was only horses. So some frayed braces. But I was a tailor extraordinaire, and I made myself bags and cloth weave clothes all the way through. And I always logged in to get my moon cloth. I had so much moon cloth. In fact, I still do. So new players with WoW would probably know, in terms of this water and food, don't really come into it that much. Yeah, sometimes you'd want to have a quick drink, often if you're playing a priest or something, but DPS casters like mages and warlocks don't tend to need it much anymore. Back in early WoW, however, oh no, you need your drinks. I'm not drinking because I'm a slacker, and I'm lazy. And I have to say, in terms of the other games that I generally play on my channel, I'm actually pretty damn decent at this one. See how much I can remember. Yeah, I should probably drink now. Oh, hold on, I'm killing the wrong kobolds. Meant to be killing kobold vermin? Where are kobold vermin? So I've killed enough wolves, I don't need to kill any more wolves. Now normally these enemies don't actually aggro on you, normally you would have to aggro workers. Where are the bloody vermin? The age-old question: do you join a guild or do you play solo? It resisted me, that jerk. I don't think it. Have I ever seen a resistance in New WoW? I don't think so. New WoW's such ridiculously high numbers. I think they tried to bring it down at one point. Just make it slightly more reasonable. It's like, how much damage do you do? 40 million? I don't remember, but I do a lot of damage with my mage when he goes off properly. .8 DPS sword, 3 silver. Who the hell would have 3 silver? That's the other thing which is going to be really interesting, which I'm quite interested to see, is how the economy goes. Because the original WoW economy, like, it took a while to get going, and then once it was going, it was pretty sorted, but like, people are not going to really have much of an economy going at the moment, so stuff that's quite reasonable is probably going to be selling for ludicrously high prices, because the traders aren't there to produce it. So I'm hoping I'm probably not going to play this as much as I probably could if I wanted to get a lot of money, but if I wanted to get a lot of money, I would try and level up my tailoring and just sell bags, because bags are going to be wanted by basically everyone, because early WoW, you don't get too many bags. Most of them are very small, and you only start getting bigger bags quite a way in. Well, thankfully we haven't got into a political chat, despite some guys called Obama. I shall drink some water, upping my mana. Ah, poor form. Poor form. Must admit, the smarter way of doing this would be, like, some of us to all go, hey, let's all join a group to kill these kobolds, so that we don't all fight over the friggin' kobold vermin. So yeah, you have to work out where quests are. There's no money. And you need to drink again. That's classic WoW. That's classic WoW in a nutshell. I pity the poor bloody warriors, because they had things pretty tough as well from memory. Warlocks will be needing to gain soul shards again, which, if you don't know what a soul shard is or never played that in current WoW, I mean, that's the thing. There are people in the world who probably grew up like playing World of Warcraft, but have never played classic WoW. I think one of the later quests I've got to go in the mine and kill someone. To bring this to your attention as soon as you return from the Kobold camps. It appears to be a letter sealed with the insignia of Kelda, our local mage trainer.
For the Alliance. Greetings.
Uh-oh, now we've got to go kill kobold workers. Who would have guessed?
Good day to you.
Ooh, and the Defias Brotherhood, who we knew nothing about. So, World of Warcraft does come off a set of RPGs called, Warcraft. So Warcraft set up a lot of this. So people who know, who played the Warcraft games sort of knew a bit of the storyline. However, World of Warcraft was set a few years after Warcraft 3, and so it threw in a whole lot of new stuff based on things. One of them was the Defiance Brotherhood. They're the primary antagonists for the early part of the Alliance campaign. That's right, I've got to read this letter. There are 4 rules to magic. Magic is powerful. Magic is corrupting. Magic is addicting. Magic draws the denizens of the twisting nether to those who wield the arcane. That's nice. So he's in the library somewhere. That's a librarian called Brother Paxton. It's probably over here. So I have 65 copper from all that. So this will be a mage trainer. Cool. So I got a little bit of experience, and now I can level my character. So these spells, this is the spells that the basic mage trainer will give us. So I get an upgraded fireball at level 6. I get fire blast at level 6, and I get frostbolt at level 4. I get better conjuring food and water at level 4 and 6, and arcane intellect, which will be one of my primary spells early part of the game. Eventually, I will gain a specialization in either arcane, fire, or frost, and that doesn't do anything like it does in current WoW. In early WoW, all it did was... Crap, I forgot that uses so much mana. Oh dear. What was I talking about? Lost my tangent again. Just getting all muddled in classic WoW. Probably shouldn't have sold that. I can actually store it. So I can buy different weapons and so on from him. So yeah, you can. You don't get a specialized. If you played new WoW, there's normally a thing called specialization bonus, where you gain. You essentially gain some different abilities when you choose that specialization, and then you choose your talents from this. I don't have the talent tree yet. It'll take until I need to get to level 10 to have the talent tree. But once that happens, then I gain access to some far more interesting things. Because talents in Classic WoW, there was a lot more. There were full talent trees in Classic WoW. It's one of my favourite things about the game, actually. I really don't like newer WoW because they got rid of talent trees. It's probably one of my main gripes with the newer version. It certainly makes the game probably a bit more accessible and easier, but I quite like the fact of talent trees and the way that you could either like overly specialise or do a dual specialisation, where you weren't quite as good as someone fully specialised, but you had a much more different set of abilities that you could draw on. And unfortunately, I mean, they got rid of it mainly to stop the problem they were having, which was cookie cutter builds, where people would choose exactly the same talent build because it was the best talent build. It was the meta talent build. And look, that will happen in this game. It will get to the point where people are going a little bit meta. But ultimately as well, I mean, this is patched to just before the last expansion. So it's essentially the last set of Classic WoW at sort of its height. So all of the classes had gotten reviewed and new talent abilities. Everyone had actually learned how the game worked. I remember this massive problem the mages were having on the mage forum way back in time, where they weren't being able to do damage. Hunters would out-damage them, rogues would out-damage them, warlocks would out-damage them. Hell, even a good druid would sometimes out-damage them in... Why is it killing me? Oh, that's right, I get wands. Completely forgot I get a wand. I remember wands. Anyway, I need to get a wand. So, mages were sort of complaining about this, and some guys, and a lot of people would go like, oh, my gear doesn't really do anything. I mean, intellect, I can get loads of mana, but what happens? Because back then, intellect gives you extra mana. That's what it does. See? Mana points, and it gives you a chance to score critical hit with spells. That one is a bit more useful, but we'll get to that. And Spirit, good old Spirit, because all the stuff had Spirit, would increase your health and manage your regeneration rates. And people would go, why the hell have I got Spirit? I don't care about this. Anyway, this one guy comes on the forum, and can't remember his name. I really wish these days I'd taken a screenshot of it. And he goes, hey guys, I think I've worked out the puzzle. There's some sets of armor with this thing called plus spell damage on it. And basically it generally has a reduction of other stats. So I've got like no health, but I've got plus 100 spell damage. And I do way more damage in raids now. And a lot of people thought he was lying, or could be a fault. Some people thought, hey, maybe I'll have a look into this. And yes, there was stuff called plus spell damage, and it was a bit hard to find at the lower levels. It was more common on your higher level gear, like epic gear that was generally only available in raids. But it dropped in very, very situational places, and all of a sudden it completely changed how mages played, because they realized that, hey, we can actually get additional damage this way. Warlocks, I don't think, tended to use it much. They tended to rely on their stamina, because Warlocks get a lot of bonuses from having a high stamina, because they can use it in again, high-level gameplay to cast spells if they don't have any mana. And that's quite important. High-level gameplay is particularly your raids and your high-level dungeons. No, there's no heroic dungeons in this. It's all just one set, and they were hard as friggin' bug's teeth. Bug's teeth hard? I guess they are. They'd be chitness. Chitness? Chitness. I'm just going with chitness. Bunny, die. Die, bunny. Haha. Does such a horrible scream when you kill that. Oh, there's no achievements either. I don't have to worry about millions of achievements. Sadly, I can't gloat to everyone when I become a lore master again. So I'm not too sure what I'm going to do with this. I'm probably not going to play it to what I want to play it at. I probably will just sort of play it a few times a month just to make sure I'm getting some sort of game out of it. And then Brotherhood of Thieves are over this way, I recall. Now, I can't remember, do I hand in the mine quest first? There's like an order you do this in, and then it means you don't need to run back all the time, but I can't remember what that order is. So yeah, I'm not sure how long I'm going to play this for. It is still, I mean, this is one thing to remember about World of Warcraft. It is a monthly subscription service. It has always been a monthly subscription service, and it still is. Classic WoW, you get both Classic WoW and Standard WoW under the subscription service. So there is a benefit to it. And I probably will log in under my my actual main at some point in time and just have a little look. I don't have the new expansion, and I'm not really looking at getting back into it. There was a few things I did want to do with Legion, though. I was still waiting on getting some more legendary weapons and everything, and I was trying to get all my characters up to 100. 110 or whatever the hell it was back then. Alright, so this is the first set of enemies we've seen that are... in that big ugly red color, which means they are aggro enemies, so, or aggressive enemies, or however you want to say it. So what that means is essentially they have an actual aggro radius, and if I get within that aggro radius, they'll come charging at me. Yeah, I think I'm actually meant to get the wine quest at the same time here. So yeah, it is still a subscription service. A lot of MMOs these days are free to play. It's very rare there's subscription MMOs, because most people have found that just disposable income, people will just drop off them unless there's something really good about them. WoW is certainly one that is still a massive time sink for a lot of people. It's generally the reason I get out of it is because I get to a point where I just go, you know, I really would like to play another game than WoW. Not that I don't love WoW, it's just that sometimes you want to change. You don't just want to continue to play the same game. And ultimately, because I'm not raiding anymore, I tend to play games single player. And I found the newer WoW sort of tends to mean that if you're not raiding at the regular level, you're just joining in for the looking for raid groups and so on. You're kind of missing out on a lot of content for a big period of time. Then they started putting all of the quests into mythic. Oh crap! Don't think no. Just run off. So I've actually exited her threat range, and yeah. So now she's basically de-aggroed. She's running back. If I try and shoot at her, she'll just evade it. So I'm going to go back here. I'm pretty sure.
King's order, friend. Light bless you. Light be with you. Be careful.
So I've got to go murder all the kobolds. Yeah, while I'm here, I might as well.
What are you looking for?
Sell some stuff.
Light bless you.
So quest items take stuff in your inventory. I think they do still in modern WoW. I have like 20, 37 slot bags or something ridiculous these days, so... Yeah, but WoW's managed to survive even with a subscription service. I'm not entirely certain how, but it's just managed to do it. And it is quite a popular game. People will use it as it is still a popular game. I mean, I think it's still got several million subscribers, which is still a lot of people, let's face it. And the fact that it has been able to sort of just survive against... My god, someone's called Gandalf compared to Dangalf. Oh, I see. Shenanigans. You are now my nemesis, Gandalf. Calls himself Gandalf anyway. Anyway. Look, we're in one of the classic mines. It's the same as every other mine, pretty much. And the kobolds who tell me that they will no-take candle. So resistance to effects generally only happens when stuff's a little bit higher level. Oh god, we've got classic lag spikes as well. Haven't seen those in a while. So a couple of the main benefits to this is that there is actually an oceanic server for this. Original WoW did not have an oceanic server. We all the Australians used to play on... I got my first cloak. Look at that. Little warm rag. Poo you. Yeah, you can kill it. Yep, there we go. Political chats. Yeah, we didn't have Oceanic servers. We used to play the US servers. I used to play on Lightning's Blade way back in time. Oh, come on. That was clearly Vine. And I got it. And the unofficial PvP Australian server was BlackRock, and they basically, all the Australians basically just spammed BlackRock. You could never get into the bloody thing. So yeah, I played on Lightning's Blade where there was a reasonable contingent of Australians. So it was sometimes a little bit quiet, but it was generally alright. When I started raiding, I had to do it basically early morning. It was early morning get up, raid, have some breakfast. I used to have a bowl of yogurt and an apple. Quite healthy, relatively speaking. Can we throw in some extra fruit as well if you like. And coffee, and I would go raiding. And it was great fun. I met a lot of people raiding. It was a relatively young guild as well. It wasn't like a massive guild that had been raiding for ages when I started. Because I'd sort of, as a solo player, I'd sort of gotten myself ready for raiding. I was very highly geared as a solo player. I was, relatively speaking, well skilled. I'd already done research into Molten Core and everything, which they were just starting on. So when they sort of said, hey, you seem to be getting a high DPS, come join us. Well, I joined the guild and I started raiding, and I was there when, I mean, they really literally just started going into Molten Core, which at that time was a pretty big, like it was still the premier raid that you needed to do to sort of actually get gear to get better, get good. But at that point in time, you had Anquirage out. I mean, yes, yes, you can allow access. He's a rogue. I need to drink, dude. Don't get yourself killed. Oh, he's level 5. It's like... and level 4. So when in a group, you basically share loot. Numlock, that's it. So you never know what happens when someone just chucks a random group invite. They could be a complete tard. This guy seems relatively fine. I mean, he didn't say hi or anything, but neither did I, because clearly we know what the fuck we're doing. We don't need to say hi to each other. But normally you'd say hi. You should say hi. It's very bad. It's a bad thing to not say hi, really. I'm promoting bad behavior in World of Warcraft. Go me. Yeah, I do not want to see what Gold Shard-In is like. That's going to be insane. Actually, I must admit, this has been a little bit easier to narrate to as I've been going, because I've got a little chat window I can talk back to and complain about. Hell, I could do that as like an entire episode. Any sex offenders online now? That's... no. What? At least it isn't dead like Battle for Azeroth. So that will take me outside. Yeah, okay, maybe I do need to kill the device. I think I've got it wrong. I believe I have actually done something slightly out of order. That's okay.
What can I help you with?
I'd actually forgotten humans could be warlocks. The early WoW as well only it did have a limit, like certain races could only be certain classes. Conversely, now it's basically opened right up. In particular, there are no Horde Paladins. There are, however, no Alliance Shamans. That's the thing as well, as high-level gameplay very much is... you need different types of classes. You need different... all of the raid dungeons were built around having different types of encounters and so on, which you would need different abilities for. Some abilities you would need a rogue's ability to pick locks, for example. Some abilities you would need a warlock in order to provide health stones and summon people, of course, and also just very heavy DPS. Warlocks were gods at burst DPS back then. That's the other thing, is that it was a lot harder to, as a tank, to keep aggro. So, like, DPS would generally, like, good DPS would know to not just go all out initially. You'd know when to time your burst DPS, so you didn't pull aggro from the tank and then wipe the raid. I feel like giving him an angry emote. How dare he take my name, jerk. See how that guy was kind to me? He didn't try shooting. I mean, maybe he thought that he couldn't get to me, but I'm going to be nice and give him that. And I actually stole a guy off him. Go me. Wasn't what I intended to do, but hey. Yes, casting buffs on people actually draws aggro. I don't know if it does it in current WoW. Aggro is such a non-event in current WoW. It's like, yes, you can grab it, but it's so hard to do. Back in classic WoW, you have a lot of aggro mitigating abilities and other stuff. You had to actually think about using some of your different spells in raids and dungeons. I will get polymorph at one point, which is arguably one of the most important mage spells early on, because it lets you take on multiple opponents. Not necessarily because you want to be taking on multiple opponents, but it's more when stuff goes wrong, it is the spell you need. There are several raid bosses that are almost completely dependent on mages being able to use that ability. Because certain enemies are also immune to certain class abilities, but other classes they'll be able to work fine on. So again, it's just other ways that WoW, classic WoW, is very much more a thinking game. It's not a straight up early fight. Some bosses at Molten Core, like mages, wouldn't even get a chance to cast spells out, because your job was disenchanting the raid from certain types of nasty spells, and that would happen. It would swap, because each class had different things available to them. Priests, for example, could cast Remove Disease. Mages could cast Remove Curse. Who else could cast Remove Curse? I think Druids. Don't remember. Actually, don't remember. My spell's gone. I've been playing this game for 30 minutes. Buffs are going. Only in low early game do you see something like that happen. Now, I'm not playing on a PvP server. I am actually playing on a PvE server. Main reason for that is I didn't really want to have to deal with ganks. I dealt with that when I first played WoW. I was on a PvP server because that's what my friends are on, and I'm tired of living in fear that when I'm walking through a nice forest or lovely plain, I can't just enjoy the terrain. I've got to be constantly on guard in case some jerk jumps out from behind a tree and ganks me. And I did get that enough in Dark Souls from the computer. I don't really need that from real people who can just murder me instantly. It's particularly bad as well, as it's going to be quite a while till I get a mount, and it's particularly painful when you've walked like 20-30 minutes to somewhere and then someone murders you pretty quickly. So I haven't yet decided what I'm going to be doing with the character in terms of like leveling him up. My original mage, I got some really bad advice from a computer game magazine, as you do, which advised that all Alliance players should leave the Alliance areas and go to, that's some lag, and go to Darnassus, which is the Night Elf capital, because in Darnassus it's easier to level up. Because it's a much more centralized location. So I'd finished Gold Shy by this point, and a friend of mine helped me actually get there. It's an interesting run to get there. I think it takes about 40 minutes, give or take. And there's a lot of things that will try and kid you. You basically go to Stormwind. Stormwind takes you to Ironforge through the tram. You then leave Ironforge. You have to walk all the way through Ironforge Valley. Then cross through Ellsworth. Don't even know what that is.
Have a good one. Hello.
Is this the one we're getting oats? I think you could get oats. Oh no, oats is in what is it? Westshire. Kill Garrick Padfoot.
See you later.
So what is it? If I open this up, zoom out. What? Okay. Can't actually remember the town. Would be, yeah, it's through Manithal Wetlands. There it is. There it goes. Yeah, you have to walk all the way through it, up to the wetlands. Then you get to Manithal Harbour, and then you get a boat all the way over to Orbadine, just there. And then you get another boat to Darnassus, and then you finally can start the Darnassus quest chain. Now that will get you at about level 10, about 1, maybe 2 levels. I can't even remember how many it was. And then I'm over at Darnassus. So I sort of go, well, what do I do? Well, I get quests. So I got some quests. The quests you get at Darnassus, leads you along that shoreline. And that shoreline is ridiculously long. It is not centralized. It is terrible. Darnassus itself is centralized, but that shoreline is terrible. There was no one there. I'll let you guess why. And then I went to Stone Talon Peak. There are actually about 4 quests for Stone Talon Peak for Alliance. That got me a few more levels. Most of that area was Horde, and I'm on a PvP server, so I can attempt to die anyway. No, it is bring Harvest. Yep, okay, cool. I feel like... where's the wine quest? I'm sure there's a quest to get wine. Maybe that is the wine quest. I don't know. We'll find it. Yeah, so I ended up in Stone Talon Peak, which is a Horde zone. Then I ended up in Ashen Vale, which is another Horde zone. At some point, a friend of mine goes, hey, you need to come back to Westshire to kill some Defias in the Dead Mines. And it's like, for frick's sake. This is terrible. So I actually spent most of my low levels leveling up in Kalimdor as opposed to this side. It was only later which I went through Duskwood and got all the Duskwood quests. I was a bit high level for that, I think, at that point. But I quite enjoyed it. But yeah, I mean, sometimes you do need a little bit of extra experience, so going to another zone of your same level is sometimes necessary. WoW does rely sometimes on having a quite high... tolerance isn't quite the right word, but... quite a high need for either going into dungeons to level or oh, you piece of poop. Yeah, going into dungeons to get experience, or finishing quests, which are the main reason why you get experience. However, if you're rested, then you'll get much more increased amount of experience. What are you doing, WoW? Oh, that is some major lag. Major lag. I think it's mainly due to the amount of players. I mean, I've got a beautiful internet connect. 28 MS! Holy crap. Server must be right next bloody door. I never get 28 MS. I never get 28 MS in current WoW. Ah. They're trying to kill me. The toaster's laughing at me. Go away. Yeah, two would be a little bit tricky at my level. You jerk. Please tell me that. Is that Gandalf again? No, it's Prophet. Well, at least he cast Fortitude on me. I'll give him points for that. No, he didn't. He just healed me. What a jerk. That's right, you need reagents as well in this. Some spells require reagents. A bit later down the track, but still. So yeah, being rested does help things quite a bit. And I mean, this is why as well. I probably won't be charging through the game as fast as I can. I'll be sitting down resting. And I believe that resting was very much a new thing. It was a WoW innovation, and it was certainly something that meant a lot to casual gamers, which was how I was able to get into the mainstream a bit, because it meant that you could just, hey, I've got a life. I can't play WoW tonight. I've got to take care of the kids or whatever. You can essentially just rested it in, and then when you get up the next morning, you've got rested experience. So it'll mean that you gain experience a lot faster. I think it's a 200% increase to your experience gain. So it means you can catch up essentially. It also allows, yeah, basically it's a catch up. It's a catch up mechanism. And from memory, WoW was the innovator there, and don't think it actually occurred anywhere else. Could be wrong. Feel free to correct me if you're watching this and you hear me say that, and I'm terribly, terribly wrong. I'd be interested to know. I'd also be interested to know what the classic WoW speedrun was. I'm sure it was 24 hours, and it's through, like, you need to do some pretty damn ridiculous stuff to do it, but you can do it. Pretty sure. For most people, I think I got to the max level. I think it took me about 4 months, 3 to 4 months. It was a while. There's no role-playing server, I don't think. Oh, no, it's a thug. So when you have a situation like this where there's someone you need to kill, you basically just invite everyone who's waiting. Ah, they're early. What jerks. See, that's very jerky. They really should have just whispered us and said, hey, do you guys want to join up with us? There we go. Yes, and all of the good old chat warriors. Oh, for fuck's sake, more people? Nope, he's already in a group. Yeah, bugger off. Stupid warlock. And done. I don't actually remember the party leader having the blue text until New WoW, so I'm guessing, I think that's an addition they've added. There was talk that they were going to add a few quality of life improvements. Certainly this did not exist. Yes, good old Blizzard putting your actual full name into things. You won't see my full name because I have more than enough privacy restrictions, but yeah, everyone else's, most of my friends have never bothered to change it. So you will see them from time to time popping up when I play Blizzard games.
You need something?
Woot. And I can get... Ooh, what do I want? Do I want the cloak or the pants? Now, the pants are a better outfit, but look at that cloak. Look at it! Isn't it beautiful? We should go with the cloak.
Safe travels.
Because you can't be a proper adventurer if you're not looking good. So it says Dangolf. I also have some spells I'm going to need to get, and... See, I'm going to be just short of level 6 here. Normally, if you were rested, you'd get to level 6.
Hello.
Oh, okay. Maybe I will just get there.
Safe travels.
Oh, what? This person's also going to give me a cape. I've been robbed. I'm going to have 2 capes. The Grape Manifest. This is like the craziest letter about how you've managed to save someone's wine cache. Yeah, that's 4. And I might have 4 as well. Yeah, where are you, brother? Must be upstairs. Side. Nope. I mean, you actually got to wander around and find stuff now. Oh, that's right. Bell tower. She said bell tower. Durr. Derby, 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 durr.
Hello. See you later.
Oh, that's right. You get the wine-stained cloak. I used to wear that thing for ages. Well, we'll go with this one this time. This Dan girl's not going to go full purple pimp suits until later in the game. Now I'm just going to head up here and get my new mage spells.
What can I do for you?
So I can get Conjure Water and Frostbolt.
The Alliance.
So Conjure Water is arguably the most important mage skill you will ever get. Because I can make water from nothing. Hurrah. and that is basically permanent until I log out. So it doesn't actually, like, I can just make as much as I ever want, really. I've been going down and clicking still, haven't I? Yeah, that's the slow way of doing it. Admittedly, I've only got a few buttons, so it's not a huge issue. Late game, you generally have everything. Like, I've set this up. I've done this automatically. I've literally set this up so that... I wonder if it's got different... Oh, no. Cool. Oh, my plate on my main account is ridiculous, I think.
Good day to you.
Oh. That's right, I got a quarterstaff. So, players of newer WoW will note there is no eye level on gear or anything. Literally, the gear is what it is. You got your resistances, which are needed for certain dungeons. Got the Hearthstone, which is not a card game. Now this guy will want me to take some sort of gift to a dude so I can get a bag. It's an in-tout.
Have a good one.
No, maybe you don't get a bag from this guy. Get a bag from someone, I'm sure. Yeah. Yep, some herbs. Herbs. I did not say herbs, I swear. Donna Anthenia, the crazy cat lady. There's 4 cats. That's not that crazy. What does she serve? Oh yes, you can purchase cats from her for 40 silver. I've got 1 silver and 53 copper, and that money will go as soon as I hit certain levels. So, because you need to purchase your skills, and because money is so scarce, you'll often find that early game you'll have to like go, do I get that level up in that skill, or do I just keep it safe? There's no calendar for events. Damn, this is insane. Everyone is going to want to kill Hogger.
Hello.
Yeah, what do I want? Doesn't even have the price of the item, so I can't sell them. So I shall make this in my home.
You need something?
Whoop. Smells like a disconnect. Nope, we're good.
Safe travels. What can I do for you?
And you sell various types of cheese. I'll sell you pumpkins back to you for 5 copper.
See you around. Good day to you. See you later.
So, murder more kobolds for candles.
Greetings.
Marshal Duggan. I get a shield. So useful. So useful. That'll tell me more about kobold infestations in Elwyn Forest.
Go with honor, friend. How are you? Have a good one.
And this is Lion's Pride Goldshire Inn, and that's all my quests done. Wow. What the f...
Things are.
busiest blacksmith shop in all the realms.
Or the Alliance.
So we don't actually go there until a little bit later. Stormwind City that way. But I might as well just have a quick walk into Stormwind for those who have never seen the walk into Stormwind. Yeah, I'm getting invaded by gnomes and dwarves. It's getting some weird lag spikes despite having a latency of nothing. It's traveling baker. So you do get XP for exploring, so there is a reason to do so. Plus I need to go to the Fargo Deep mine, which is nearby, I believe. I think the Fargo Deep was the north one. Yeah, I should probably get an unlock, shouldn't I? Oh no, south. Yep, so all three of these quests basically mean go murder kobolds. Guards level 55. We found Stormwind, and the music should kick in about now? Nope. Now? Now. Okay, fair enough.
What can I do for you? Safe travels.
This guy's hawking a wine store.
King's honor, friend.
Stormwind commendations. So this is the bank. We'll be going here quite a bit. Stormwind doesn't have an auction house, does it? No, that came with Burning Crusade. So the auction houses... Okay, so auction houses where you sell stuff and basically where the economy runs through. So Ironforge will be the only auction house. Because they only added the auction house to the other capital cities later in the game. So Ironforge will be the place to be. So I'll go back there in just a sec. I'm going to get my skills because I want to get my skills available to me. So Duncan's Textiles, the all-important tailor trainer.
Can I help you?
Nope. You want to talk to... Where is he?
Be careful.
Nope.
Looking for something specific?
Where's the goddamn tailor trainer?
What can I do for you?
I
Light
supply
pleasure.
only the finest goods.
I buy and trade.
Have a
there.
good
Journeyman, that's the one. Hoot. Leveling this stuff up will also cost you loads of money.
open for business.
So tailoring supplies are the basic stuff you generally need to start doing tailoring. That said, I think I'm okay for the moment, and ultimately you get stuff at other places. So at the moment I can make white linen shirts. I don't have any linen, so there's not much point. The other thing I'll be going and getting to start with is... Now, I can't actually remember where he is. I think he's in the Rogue's Quarter. Another one I'll be getting early on is leatherworking. Now, leatherworking, I will not be using leatherworking forever. I'll actually be getting enchanting, but early game enchanting is balls. You want to be selling your magic items for money. I've never found using because basically enchantment, you disenchant magical items and then you use those to add enchantments to other stuff. It's balls. It's balls to level. You generally early level game like this, you just pain in the neck. That's something I did in my first playthrough. I'm not going to do it in this playthrough. Let's drink some wine. Oh yeah. But I will certainly be upping it later in the game because it really does help. The other ones, the other skills I will probably pick up at some point. I'll probably pick up heal, but it does also cut into your linen supplies, so it's not as useful. It's a secondary skill. It's not so useful for me. It's more useful in the fact that it allows me to heal during combat, which normally I can't do with my food. Now, I'm pretty sure leatherworking is here. Oh, hold on. No, this is the mining sector. This is the Dwarven district. I want the rogue crappy district, Old Town or whatever it's called. Blades. Oh, it is so slow without a goddamn horse. Protective hide. Is this the one? I think it is.
Well met.
Journeyman leatherworker. Where's the skinner? Skinning trainer. There it is. She sells bags. Look at those prices. Wow.
What can I do for you?
I supply
Working supplies. That's what I
What
want.
can I do for you?
Oh, it nearly beats my stuff. Alrighty, so yeah, there we go. I've gotten some rest experience. It's like one rested experience there. That's me Hearthen back. So, two things to take from this is that it's still a little bit unstable, and it's probably because there's so many players. This servers are only on a medium load, so I'm not entirely certain where the problems are coming in, but anyway. So, that is World of Warcraft. So, I'm going to actually log in quickly just to open up my other main. Figured it might as well do that, seeing it's a quick look at stuff. So it looks like they have actually kept some of the updated graphics there a little bit, maybe. Anytime game. So logging in and out, a little bit iffy. Cost of game, also a little bit iffy because you do the subscription service. Game itself, great fun. Loads of fun. Endless oodles of opportunity to really do nothing at all. You're building a character and having fun, walking and enjoying the world of Warcraft. Meeting people, trying not to go insane by freaking noobs and gankers and ninja looters and stealers and people who steal kills like that. 2 people who went and murdered that Padfoot guy rather than waiting like the good people they should be. So, all of that. World of Warcraft's a great game. Like, I've had so much fun playing it over the years, and having a chance to go back and play Classic. I think it's a great step. It's going to be a long slog, though, I think, for a lot of people. But some people probably remember it fondly, but remember its foibles, like I would say I do. It's not. It's certainly, there are reasons quality of life improvements have been made to the game over time. And certainly some things give me crap. What on earth is going on here? Come on, game. Alright, I think I might just have to murder you. Ironically, World of Warcraft is using virtually no memory capacity compared to Streamlabs. Streamlabs, hell, the Blizzard Battle.net app is using twice as much capacity as World of Warcraft. So, classic. So, I think that'll give you an idea about the game in terms of how it runs. Don't know whether this will mean that Blizzard will start doing their other ones, like going, classic Burning Crusade, and then classic Lich King, because certainly those games as well were, well, I mean, personally, Lich King was probably the one that really clicked with me. I really enjoyed Lich King. I loved every little bit of extra content added to that game then. Classic as well. Burning Crusade I never liked terribly much. It was so painful in terms of there was just always stuff you had to kill. It just was a pain in the neck. It just wasn't fun, in my opinion. It was not fun at all. Is this actually going to work? Yeah, I have my favourite picture while we wait. You're watching the world of Clink. I think when it crashed earlier, it really crashed. Maybe I should rename my stream to Technical Problems. Might have to sort that out later. Anyway, you've been watching The World of Clink. That was a quick look at World of Warcraft Classic. Back from the dead, as it were. 15 years since the last one. So, yeah, it's great fun. Hope you enjoyed it. If you want to see more WoW, please let me know. I'm happy to do some more streams of WoW or even do a couple of videos of WoW. If you didn't like it and you never want to see this again, please let me know as well, because then I won't put it on the channel. And otherwise, yeah, everyone have a good end of week. Tomorrow should be the Stellaris stream finally. For the last 2 days I've been nuts at work, so I just haven't had a chance to sit down and get in a right frame of mind to play Stellaris. And I've been playing a bit of Destiny too, and it's not the greatest game to stream. I don't really want to stream it because there's so much loading in it. But anyway, you've been watching The World of Clink. I'm your host, Colonel Clink, and everyone have a good one. I'm signing off. Take it.